Welcome to the very first episode of the Villa Poddy, live at the Botanical Gardens. I'm Paulie, the main man, the host, Izzy Carter. Tell us about our first guest.
Well, we've got a very special first guest, the one and only Mitch Creek. Now, for the people that don't know about Mitch Creek, I feel sorry for you, okay? He's an Australian boomer, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix captain, and he's been around the globe chasing and doing what he loves to do, which is the game of basketball. And we spoke about so many stuff, which covers his career, obviously, how he thinks about the game, where the game's heading, mental health, and also the new acquisitions they brought in. On top of that, though, he's a funny guy. He talks about the grassroots levels of the game as opposed to the professional level, and that's something that me and Paulie can relate to. And on top of that, we are live at the Villa. And we had a good conversation. You know, we only had him for half an hour, but this is one of the many guests, best to come. And what a way to start it. Mitch Creek.
Let's go.
What's going on?
Fucking hell, what a nightmare this has been for a couple of weeks.
Hey, we got there in the end. That's all that matters.
How you going, brother?
I'm good. You?
Not too bad. This is my mate Paul, the co-host.
How you going, brother?
Paulie, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate.
We're on the Friday, drinks, enjoying
I like it.
whatever you want to call lockdown or whatnot.
Well, there's a bit of freedom tonight, so that's good.
True.
Yeah.
All right, let's go a bit of what we're going through here. How's lockdown been for you, man?
It's been all right. Like, honestly, it hasn't been too bad. It's obviously it's had its ups and downs as everyone has, but I was away for quite a few months in America and spent some time over there. Obviously, the first few lockdowns I was over here, but I was fortunate enough to go all the way back over to the States and spend some time in sunny California and
Is
just
that when
enjoyed
you came
some
out with cooking with Creaky?
Yeah, pretty much on the way back when I was in Sydney. So it definitely kept me busy, but it's been good though. Hasn't been too bad.
Olive there.
Olive was there too. She's deflated in the house somewhere. I don't know where she is though. She's lost for now.
Well, that's gold, man. That's gold. Well, we're gonna go back to when you grew up in Horsham. How did you get into basketball? Because it's the country town, and in many sense, more of an AFL setting.
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a mix-up because I played footy and basketball. I did a lot of kind of like junior little athletics and things like that, and it was just always active outside, riding BMX, mountain bikes.
True.
We had a little bit of land for a while, so I was a bit of like one of those rough kids kind of growing up and go to the skate park after school, and that was kind of where I was at. It was really cool. Like, it was one of those things that sport was just one of those tough nut, like, you got brought up with pretty good coaching, great facilities everywhere. But then you had just that country toughness, the Aussie grit. It's kind of really instilled in you at a young age, especially in the country. So I think that's where my love for basketball and football really started. And as I got older, I had to kind of make the transition of what I wanted to do. And I couldn't play for my country in football, so I always wanted to try and don the green and gold one day. So that was why I went with basketball and kind of why I transitioned into just more staying with the basketball side of things and stop playing footy, stop training, but still love it all the same. But yeah, basketball is where my heart was.
And how'd you get picked up from Horsham into like the NBL, for example? Like, you weren't really in like our state kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a hard one for a lot of people because there's not a lot of avenues in. You kind of do. You find your way, if you're good enough. But at the same time, some of those fringe guys, and I was a fringe guy for a long time. I found that I did kind of like do the local basketball and tournaments and stuff like Swan Hill, Echuca, Stawell, like you do all these Geelong trips, Ballarat even. And then you eventually get, invited to maybe like an NITP or ITC training camp, which is like a local country weekend of, training with some better coaches and some better players. And they identify some talent for state teams. And then the snowball kind of started and I made a state team and did well and then made another one. And then, you start to talk about an Australian camp and, you think about those days and it's hilarious. Looking back, watching film of you when you're 15 running around thinking you were the bee's knees with an Oz jersey on, but really you had no idea what was ahead of you. So it's pretty surreal to think that was back then. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's kind of how it all started, and then how it formed, and then obviously as you go along, more opportunities mean bigger areas, bigger trips, and it wasn't a state, it was a national, and then wasn't national, it was international, and then all of a sudden you're playing for your country, and you're thinking, holy shit, how the fuck did I get here? Like, this is crazy. So it's pretty wild.
True. Now, like you had to leave Melbourne, obviously, to go to Illawarra and Adelaide. That would have been an experience in the NBL.
Yeah, look, obviously, like I spent all my time, in Horsham. Then I went to the Institute of Sport, and then signed in Adelaide for 8 years. Went over to Germany, played a little bit there, then signed a deal in America. Then came to Melbourne eventually, and this is now home. But for me, it's kind of all the same. Like, this is my bed. That's my TV. It's my car outside. It's my motorbike. No matter where you put that, that's my stuff, and that's what I feel attachment to. Is like the things that are mine that I resonate with. That it's like, you know what? It's been a long day. I want to lay in my bed and I want to put my feet up and I want to eat a fucking bag of chips and I want to watch a movie. Like, that's me. I can do that anywhere in the world and call that home. Where a lot of people go, oh, home is here, or home is in Horsham. For me, home is just where my feet are. And if I've got good people around me, then I'm always going to love where I'm at.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's like crazy mentality, right? Like, to some people, but it's good. How did you get to the States though in the end from leaving the NBL?
So I did a couple of NBA summer leagues. I did some training camps, and obviously got noticed a little bit to do like an NBA summer league. You go to Vegas, you're playing like a 2-3 week long tournament. I did my first one with Utah Jazz about 4 or 5 years ago now, 5 years, and then had another opportunity. I struggled. I was in unfit. I had a broken hand at the time, and I was just coming off that, so I didn't really put my best foot forward. The following year, I went with Dallas, did a much better job, had a good year in the NBL, did some good training stuff as well leading up to it, had a good camp, played well with Dallas, and then the opportunity came to play in Germany at the end of the season, did that, and then it was obviously like, all right, well, you can come over and do an Exhibit 10 contract, which a few guys in the NBL have done. Not many have got through all the way, and that's where you do your training camp for the NBA squad, which was the Brooklyn Nets at the time. And then you turn into a G League contract in their second team, which was the Long Island Nets.
Yeah.
And from that, you just basically got to earn your spot. You have 10-day contracts. You can have 2 per team. And then the third time you have to get signed to that team, or you stay in the G League, or you get traded to another team, or they pick you up. So I got my 2 10 days. I played in Brooklyn for those 2 10-day contracts. I got cut halfway through my second 10-day. And then, a couple of weeks go by, we're finals in the G League. And Minnesota Timberwolves come knocking and, hey, we want to offer you a 10-day and then sign you the rest of the season. And it was like, well, what do you do? Do you stay and do Brooklyn and just the G League because you can't do any more with the Nets? Or do you take another opportunity with an NBA team? So I took that opportunity, had a great time, played a few games, made some great friendships and relationships, and just had a really nice experience, I guess. And then I came, I stayed there, actually. I came back for, I think, maybe a week or 2. And then it was basically straight into, like, preseason with the Timberwolves. I stayed there for about 4 or 5 months. Fucking had a blast. Like, so good. Unreal time. I learned to skydive when I was over in Minnesota. So I did my course. I was jumping every day.
That's where it started from, huh?
Yeah, it started over there. It started years before that, but I really got into it then. And, I ended up doing summer league again with the Timberwolves. We did really well. Got to the grand final. We didn't win, but we lost, I think, by 3. It was a really good game.
Yeah.
And then from that basically snowballed all the way back to World Cup. The Australia USA games. I was a part of that. Obviously, I came back. I missed out, and then I made the team. Went to World Cup and kind of led into an NBL season, into an off season where I got injured. Someone hurt my knee and had surgery. And then played our last NBL season with COVID, and now we're here looking like COVID's going to affect us again. So hopefully it's not too bad.
What was your favorite city in the States?
I think New York was definitely up there, but I did love Minnesota. 10,000 Lakes, whatever they called it. As one of its little byproduct names.
True.
Just beautiful country landscape. Heaps of people that were really nice. It had a bit of a country feel, but it was not a big city. But it was still lots to do. So. I just had a great time. Like I made some really good friends on the team. I made, some really good relationships off the court. I did some really cool activities and just kind of enjoyed my experience thoroughly. So I was really lucky to be a part of it. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there, and I wish I could go back and live there for another 6 months and do it all again. So hopefully the fingers are still crossed that we can get back there after this season and try and do it all again.
True. And you guys, coming back to Melbourne and the Phoenix, you guys recruited pretty well this off season.
Yeah, we got a couple of really good guys. Got Big X, Zaid Mumford, who's obviously one of our imports at the moment. We're about to sign another import soon. We got Big Joe Chi, Chinese Special. That guy's, he's going to be an absolute beast in our league. I can't wait to play with him. He gets out of quarantine hopefully in the next few days. He's over here in Melbourne. He's done about a week. I think he can get out on Monday maybe. So fingers crossed that he's out. Just got some really solid guys back. Re-signed a few people. Some talents come in, and we've got a couple of training players as well that are going to come in, and some young guys that we can develop for the future. But yeah, exciting times. Everyone's pretty healthy, looking like we're shaping up to be a really good team again. Bringing in guys like Torhi, Smith. He's obviously just a utility guy that does everything. Like he's kind of a little bit of me. Like he does a bit of everything, and he plays hard. He's a big body. He shoots. He dribbles. He plays out of the short roll and defends well. So. I'm excited to have him out there with me. Another kind of guy that knows what his role is, and we've got a team for those guys. So it makes it really easy to train and play with those guys day in, day out.
That's crazy, man. We can't wait to come see a game. But how that rivalry with United, it must be pretty fierce in some sort of way.
It is. There's definitely a rivalry there. I think it was one of those things that they wanted to really generate from the start. And we kind of bought into it and said, all right, as captains, Chris Goulding and myself kind of turned around and said, you know what, like we'll play along with it, but we had some great battles.
Yeah.
There was some games where he lit us up and absolutely destroyed us. And there's other games where I did a little bit the same, and so did some other guys on our team. So we've talked back and forth. We got to the finals. We talked some shit in game 1 and 2 and 3. And, that's what you want. Like, you don't challenge the best without bringing something different. And you know what? Like, people kind of got on me about talking shit. And I turned around and was like, you guys have never fucking played at this level. Like, you don't know what it's like. And, it's hard to really put it in a simple term. But when you're out there and you know that you're not as talented as that team, you're not as deep as that team. Defensively, we weren't as good as that team. Offensively, we didn't have the weapons. We didn't have the depth. But what we did have is we had some guys that were just dogs and wanted to play hard, and we gave ourselves enough belief and brotherly love to say, you know what, we can do this. And all you need is a little spark here and there. The fact that we got that win, it's a mutual ground territory. It would have been great to play at John Cain in front of some great Melbourne fans, no matter who they're going for, us or United. But, to talk a bit of smack, Jock and I went back, and some of the other guys. And, Jock was I thought he was nearly an MVP of the league. I thought he really deserved it. And, he thoroughly deserved his NBA opportunities. And I think Chris does as well. But, he spent some time over in the NBA just recently in doing a training camp with Golden State. And, there's some people that have really kind of put their toes in the water, and I think they really deserve a chance because they're such talented players.
But
they were a very, very great team. I had nothing but respect for them. Like, as much as we talk shit, as much as we hanging on each other, at the end of the day, even after game 3, like we're in the car park, we're all talking to each other. We're talking. I'm like, it hurts and it sucks, and all of that. But as a gentleman, as a man, as a competitor, I turn around and I shake their hand, mate.
100%.
Fucking great job. Incredible game. Hats off to you. You guys are the better team, and congrats. Like, you shake their hand, you remember that feeling of them looking in your eye, going, "Oh, I want one of those." Like, that's what you need to do. And I respect everyone we step on the court with. They're professionals for a reason, and they're a great team for a reason. So hopefully one day we can knock them off and hopefully secure ourselves one as well. But we'll wait and see how it all pans out.
We'll be there for every step of the way. Now, just moving on, Creaky. Oh, there we go.
Gotcha.
The one-on-one with Jay Law, that was crazy, man. How did that come about?
So Jordan's a really good friend of mine. I've known him for years now. He's a really cool guy. Really, really big heart. I actually sent him a message a couple of days ago, just kind of out of the blue. I hadn't talked for a few weeks. We talk a bit of shit together, and And that's about it at the moment until we see each other. We spend some time together. We get some food. We work out. We talk and we bond and we share some really good moments. And he's a really nice guy and really great coach. So
yeah,
I just think he's one of those guys that I want in my life for a long time. I want to do some stuff with him post career. And he's a great player. Like, he knows his skill sets inside and out. He's got a great eye for it. And he's someone that I really cherish in my life. So to play some one-on-one, we played a few times, played XRM, and obviously X is kind of getting pretty big on social media. He's obviously an extremely talented guy.
You just signed by the Hawks, right? Too as well.
Yeah, so we looked at him as well. It's a shame we didn't get a hold of him, but he's going to be a great player in this league. Those guys are all well drilled, well coached, great people. So looking forward to doing a few things with X as well when he gets to Melbourne. So hopefully when they come down in a couple of weeks for some preseason games, we can get out and I can throw him out of a plane with me. I can check him on the motorbike or do something with him and scare him a little bit.
Show him how we do it down under, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just have you do you have to have a jab mandated to play, or the Kyrie situation, is that different?
Look, it's the league hasn't enforced it, no, but it's one of those things that it's a personal choice for everyone. If I said to you, do you scrunch or fold your toilet paper? Well, that's your choice.
Yeah.
And all that's happening in the world right now is I say I'm a folder because it doesn't hurt my bum, and someone goes, well, you're a fucking dickhead, you should scrunch. And they go, well, hang on, you have your choice, I have my choice. And then you kind of argue about it, and then it's just hate. And I look at it and I go, if you say it like that, that's literally what it is. And now, obviously, there's some things and people are going, look, to work here, you need to fold it. Okay, cool. You can choose to work there by folding, or you cannot. That's your choice. Now, I don't necessarily agree with forcing people to make choices, because that's not a choice.
Yeah.
That is me saying to you, I'm going to put this above you, and you've got no choice.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people, I got a lot of friends that have lost businesses. People have lost lives. People have lost lives to COVID. People have lost lives to suicide.
Yeah.
Everything.
Fuck.
Everyone is affected. But at the end of the day, your opinion doesn't fucking matter. Like, everyone needs to just shut up, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Do you believe in it? Yes. Great. Go and get jabbed. You don't believe in it? Don't get jabbed. But understand, until things change, which they may not, we will be forced to no fly, maybe healthcare changes, maybe touring changes, maybe visiting and eating out changes.
Yeah.
But that's your choice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to live. We've lived in lockdown for a long time. So it's one of those things I don't really like talking about too much, because I think it is just this versus that.
Yeah.
Now, I know some of that is forced, but you still have a choice. And yes, your choices are limited. And I hope we get to a point where everything opens up. People are happy and free to do what they like. Obviously, there's now rules about retail shopping. You don't need to be vaxxed. You don't need to have any check-ins.
Yeah.
Like, that's a 180 from what, our premier said a week ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the day, I'm not the boss. You're not the boss.
Yeah.
But we get told, hey, you can do this. Cool. If someone says, I can go and jump out of a helicopter tomorrow, it leaves at 8 a.m., I'm getting on that helicopter. You know what? That's me. Like, I'm doing it. I'm getting there. I'm going there. That's me. I'm going to do that. But that's my choice. If you don't want to get on that helicopter with me, don't get on the helicopter.
Come. Yeah.
Don't come. If you're scared of heights, don't come. So everyone's so worked up, and I just sit here like, you know what? I just do my own thing. I take my own time.
Yeah.
I ride my motorbikes. I see my friends when I need to. Obviously restrictions have lifted and certain things are a bit more easy to do. I've had both my jabs. I know people close to me that don't believe in it.
Yeah.
But we don't sit there at the dinner table and throw knives at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your choice, mate. Sweet as, cool. If you've been around people that you think may have COVID, just let me know. Because then I can at least maybe just, hey, give it a couple of days and then we'll revisit. But I just think everyone needs to relax a little bit. It's not your problem if it's not you. If it's someone else and you think they're going to harm you, stay away from them.
Stay from, 100%.
1.5 meters, thanks, mate. I got a shirt that says 1.5 meters, thanks, champ. I swear to God, I got a shirt that says 1.5 meters, thanks, champ. I'm going to pull it out tomorrow night, I reckon. I'm going to go see one of the boys' his birthday. I'm going to go have a beer with him. I'm going to wear that shirt. I reckon it'll get a few laughs. Just take it off and hold it up. Proud.
Have you listened to much of Rogue Bogues? Andrew Bogues?
I have, yeah. So, yeah, Bogues
I love
a
his
good
podcast,
friend.
man, and Poddy as well. So.
Yeah, he's a ripper guy. He works his ass off. Extremely, extremely smart human being. Someone who I admire to be even a thousandth of a type of little piece of after my career of basketball. If I can have as much success as he has had by 1,000, I'll be pretty happy. Man. I'll be pretty happy. So he's a very wise man. Hopefully I can learn a lot from him one day. Hopefully I can aspire to be, some kind of the guy he is off the court, with his career after basketball, because he's done fantastic things, and I'm sure he's going to continue to do that.
100%, 100%. And how you feeling coming up leading to this season personally?
Yeah, really good. Look, I spent a few months away. I needed some time off. I had a crazy year, obviously, and mentally and emotionally, I was just in a really dark place. I was really, in a way, I was really depressive. Like I was in a really depressive mindset. I was in a really dark place, and I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. I wasn't taking care of myself mentally or physically. I wasn't training. I needed time off. I needed to really, decompress. And, I hired a motorbike in America for a couple of weeks, and, I jumped out of planes and camped in the woods and stayed in caravans. And I just lived the simple life, mate. I lived off a barbecue, and
that's crazy.
I was just really basic, and I needed that because I couldn't be around people. I couldn't really stand even calling family or friends. I was in a bad spot, and given that there's a lot of people in a lot of bad spots, but for me that one was the most important, because I felt like I was teetering on the edge of being not around for a long time, and I had to find a way, and I had some great people. I had some some beautiful friends and family. I had some great professional help, but I took that time away, and I think that as much as I was a bit out of shape, probably when I started training again, I was a bit probably, I would say I was lacking motivation and fire. I didn't have that anymore for basketball, and I needed to go and do other stuff to really appreciate it and miss the game. And when I started to come back to Australia a few weeks, probably about 2 weeks prior, I started to train a little bit and felt okay. And, it was all right. It was good to get back and just get some shots up, play some scrimmage, and, I was with J-Law and a few others. But I got back, did my quarantine, started running each day, started doing a lot of like body weight, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, a lot of core work. Yeah. And just ran in the morning, ran at night, ran workouts for everyone, did my own stuff. And it kind of really sparked that, like, I just want to be fit and healthy mentally and physically again. And over the next probably 4 to 6 weeks until we really started preseason, I was boxing 4 or 5 days a week. I was training 3 days a week on court. That's all we were allowed to do. I was lifting. I was doing all the stuff in the gym. I was really putting in conscious time and effort into my food and my, my training and, my friends, my family, calling, staying connected. And now I'm in a place where I honestly feel probably as fit at this stage of a preseason. I'm as fit as I've ever been. I'm as strong as I've ever been, if not stronger. And I'm playing at a very high level, and I'm seeing the game at a very high level. And I'm not really getting out of second gear at the moment. So until we start scrimmaging, that's when it really matters. Get some practice games in a couple of weeks. Hopefully play the Breakers a few times, play the Kings maybe. Play a few games, get up and down. The team's forming nicely. I'm really happy with where we're going in the direction of the playing group and the staff that we have, coaching us and overseeing everything and steering the ship. So, mate, I'm pumped. I'm really excited to get some fans in there again. They missed out last year, and it was unfair. And to people that listen, that were members or are thinking about, we'd love to have you there. I just want to, put on a show for everyone, help the boys be as great as they can be, and give them opportunities post this season and for next season in their careers. So excited now. Got that fire back. Just trying to keep my head down, my bum up, mate. Trying to get that work in.
Seems like everything you've been through and all the experiences have come kind of full circle and led to this season up and coming.
Yeah, I think it does. And, I was able to play through some pretty hard times last season and still perform and kind of help my team be successful at times. And I was really proud of that. And as hard as it was, honestly, like I'd finish games, I'd be bawling my eyes out in my locker or in another room after the game. And there's a few times I'd be in the ice bath or something. One of the boys would come in and see me just absolutely lost, you know, just unhappy, sad, emotional, stressed. Would be the biggest understated word I've ever used. Like I've never known stress and anxiety, you know, and really haven't, you know, dive into that. Like if you haven't been through a stress or an anxiety attack or a panic attack, you know, you don't really understand it. And people go, oh yeah, I used to have them, so I get it. Well, you don't really get it, but you have an understanding. And everyone's different, mate. You know, like, if you just because you bang your head and I bang my head, it's different. You know, people don't get it, and I'm never going to judge someone or say that they're right or wrong or they should or shouldn't have that opinion about me, the team, or anything. That's your choice, but I'm just not going to listen to it. Because you're not in my circle of trust. I don't know you. I don't love you. I don't trust you with my life. And you know, like I went through some pretty hard times, and that's it. But a lot of people go through that, and I had to really remind myself that I'm lucky to be playing sport, you know, to be having a good living, to support my friends and family and my loved ones, to do something I enjoy every day and to see my friends. So I counted my blessings where I could. You know, I fought through and I bit down on my teeth and got through it. But yeah, I really needed that time away to appreciate it, you know, to really decompress, as I said. And now that's going to flow into this season and hopefully give me a really good result. Helping the team kind of get to a place of, you know, chance. And that's all we want. We want a chance to be successful at the highest level of finals and grand finals.
100%. That's so well said. And you got good banter with your parents as well, yeah.
Yeah. They have a good laugh with me. They appreciate who I am and what I do. You know, not just for myself or my friends or my family, but for other people. And you know, I learn a lot from them and I take a lot from them. So, you know, I try and just take all the lessons they give me and all the good and the bad, the mistakes they make and all the great choices they make. I take it all, I learn from it, and I try and put it into my life. So along the way, we have a few laughs and we shake our head and go, why the fuck did we just do that? You know, threw my mum out of a plane a few months ago and she came skydiving with me, and, you know, some cool moments. So I've still got to work hard up to that. Dad hasn't jumped out yet, but we're going to get there, I swear.
That's crazy, man. We'll wrap it up now, Creaky. Thanks for your time. We'll talk soon, and best of luck for the up and coming season.
Thanks. Legend, man. Appreciate it. All the best. Wishing you well, mate. We'll hopefully catch up soon for one of those cold ones.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Creaky.
Awesome.
Cheers.
No worries. Thanks,
week,
boys.
man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate what you've done for the week. Yeah, like you're putting your time out there. Like you've been really fucking you know, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to go out of your way to you know, have this conversation with us. We screwed you around a couple of times. You know, so I really appreciate that, man.
Nah, thank you, boys. Really appreciate it. It's everyone's going through a fucking hard time, and it's not hard to give a little bit of time for yourself, for others, for people you don't know. You know, and
that, like you're straight up, you're blunt, you're honest, you are who you are. You put it on the, you know, you don't disguise that, you don't run away from that. You know, it's inspirational, man. You know, that's people need to be more like that. If everybody was like that, fuck, you know, it would be a little bit different.
Yeah, look, love me or hate me, mate. You know who I am, and you know, there's a lot of people that love me. There's a lot of people that hate me. You know, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, you're not my family. Yeah. You're not my best friend. You're not the people I love and I think about at night and hope they're well. Like, those are the people that matter to me. And I think if everyone took a leaf out of that, I think the world would be a better place. Stop judging people you don't know that walk past in the street, or maybe that lady looks a bit funny and she's, you know, she's saying things and you think she's crazy and you say something about it. Like, just people need to shut up and just keep in their own lane a little bit, and a little bit of kindness, because a little bit of negativity can really put someone into a downward spiral. And I've been in that position. I'm sure everyone's been in that position at some point in time in their lives. And fortunately enough, I was able to come out of that on the other side for now. But I've seen friends and family, you know, lose their lives to that and loved ones to that. So appreciate you boys and the messages you are sharing as well. Love the energy. I'm gonna fucking come around and drink a 6-pack with you soon enough. So we'll sort it out for sure.
That'll be the day.
We'll hold you to that.
Yeah, definitely
Legends.
100%.
Absolutely. Lock it in.
All right.
Take
All right,
Cheers,
boys.
Creaky.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
And what a guest that was. Mitch Creek, the very first episode of the Villa Poddy. Couldn't ask for someone to better represent what this podcast wants to be about. You heard it there first. He's going to come down to the Botanical Gardens himself.
Crack a cold one, you know, have a few. And that's what this podcast is about. Genuine chats, talking about real life situations, what people are actually going through. Just not through their careers, but their actual life. And so the next guest we're going to have coming up, make sure you subscribe, you like, and we're on to the next.